Jerry Lee Lewis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I love you. Welcome to the Massey Hall here, ladies and gentlemen, to a great theater and a great show tonight. You're going to enjoy it. Woo! My name is Jerry Lee Lewis, and thank you.
Take me if you please. I went down to the crossroads, tried to beg a ride. Down to the crossroads, tried to beg a ride. Nobody seemed to know me, everybody passed my high. Well, I'm going down the road there, take my rider by my side. Going down to road there, take my rider by my side. We can still buy a house, baby, on the riverside. Yeah.
Rock and roll primarily evolved from the blues. Some people say it was 4 Southern good old boys who introduced the music form which shaped popular music today. These young Southern souls were signed to Sam Phillips' legendary rock and roll label, Sun Records. A simple black vinyl disc with a yellow label spread the word that rock and roll was here to stay. Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Elvis Presley, rightly considered legends, rocked the nation and still do. Today, there's only one left, the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. But do these icons really deserve the credit for the birth of rock and roll? Or was it the guys from whom they borrowed the licks? Perhaps rock and roll is more about a unique moment in time, an era when racism was rampant and segregation ran through the Deep South like the muddy waters of the Mississippi. Nobody knew it better than a sharecropper's son by the name of Carl Perkins.
My 3 brothers was the only white people in the field with about 65 cotton choppers and pickers. You got to remember, back when I was a kid, they didn't have cotton pickers.
It was great to see these guys, Ronnie, Dad, and Jerry Lee Lewis, and them sharing their memories of years gone by, and then seeing each one of them perform the way they did. I mean, they each looked spectacular. I don't think I know Daddy never had put on any better show than what he put on that night. Jerry Lee was in top form, and they looked happy doing what they were doing that night. And it came across that way, and that was a special evening.
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure. I've tried to run into you.
I saw you with a French whore in Toronto, Canada one time.
You did?
Yeah, that was before you got false teeth.
I hope you joined up with me and
Master, you think I don't know you?
made a night out of it now.
Maple Leaf Gardens. I think we played there 2 nights with Bob. We did about 40 shows like that, though, in North America.
And it wasn't just the band and Bob Dylan who were some of the greatest names in music to appear at Maple Leaf Gardens. Back in 1957, Elvis Presley, one of the 3 Sun Records' early rebel-rousers, took to the stage in Toronto on April 3rd, 1957, just before he enlisted in the Army, and shook Toronto up with his gyrations that had wide-eyed teenage girls screaming, sighing, and pounding their feet. Was Elvis really the depraved, sex-crazed devil incarnate, or was he simply pure rock and roll? Elvis was more than just a pretty face. He was well-mannered, polite, and articulate. qualities that are often overlooked. He also had an opinion about his music, which he shared with others, especially when confronted by discerning journalists.
If you think rock and roll won't diminish in popularity, what do you think sustains its popularity? What quality of it that you think makes it popular?
Well, sir, rock and roll has been around for many years. It used to be called rhythm and blues. And as far back as I can remember, it's been very big. Although in the last 5 years it's gotten much bigger. But I personally don't think it will ever die completely out. Because they're going to have to get something mighty good to take its place as far as the young people are concerned.
What about cleaning it up or at least improving it morally and maybe taking the wiggle out of it?
Well, sir, you take the wiggle out of it, it's finished.
Elvis was greatly influenced by this street right in front of us, by Beale Street. He sat on that curb. He listened to African-American blues musicians. He listened to music of early blues musicians like Robert Johnson. He loved this music.
There were three great rock and roll singers, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and a cat called Ronnie Hawkins. They were the three greats.
If I were ruler of the world and I could hire any musician I wanted to play that old Memphis stuff I loved all my life, everybody on here would have been in it right here. There's 1,000 years of knowledge, at least. Well, 500 just counting Carl.
Well, sir, you take the wiggle out of it, it's finished.